So our next speaker, Steve Spiro, right out of college, started his own advertising company in New York City. He had a great career in advertising and marketing for many years, but in 2001, he pivoted into technology. And in 2016, he started working as a customer communications consultant, helping streamline and automate how companies communicate with their clients using artificial intelligence, which can be a combination of both hardware and software. Steve holds a 4th degree black belt in karate, a 1st degree in jiu-jitsu, along with having his own karate studio here in Westchester. Steve is a master networker. He has over 20,000 contacts in his cell phone and over 9,300 connections on LinkedIn. Steve, how long does it take you to update your phone without it? It's tough. Steve can talk to anyone now and has a personal goal of turning 3 complete strangers each day into new friends and exchange contact information with them. For someone that was a shy, introverted kid from the Bronx, Steve says this is a miracle. Steve, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, appreciate everyone being here, and hopefully that I'll add some value to your life. And my goal today, and I'm actually going to have a conversation with you. Rob is awesome. He's got a lot of energy. I tend to be a little more low-key. He's going to give me a chair. Hopefully I'm going to sit with you. I kind of like when I'm speaking to somebody, I want to have like a fireside chat with you guys, if that's okay. So I'm just going to chat with you. I'm going to use some PowerPoint, but hopefully you don't have to. Really want to talk with you, speak with you, have a conversation with you, not talk at you, okay? So just real briefly, just to embellish on what whoever Chris is, there he is, talked about. I was a shy, introverted kid from the Bronx. I was picked on, I was bullied, I was short, still am. And then just, I chose advertising because I had some talent, and I figured, okay, I could do something by myself and make money. And the last thing I expected was to get into technology sales, but I wound up doing that. And I wound up meeting a very successful entrepreneur. Actually, Rob and I have a mutual connection. Was introduced to this entrepreneur who really changed my life, got me into kind of self-development and networking, and that really was a game changer for me. And as a result of that, have become a very big networker. And my theme is there's danger in the comfort zone. I always try to push myself out of the comfort zone every day. So anyway, that's a little my background, and hopefully after today, I want you to come away with the idea that if I could do this, anybody can do it. I don't want you to think, yeah, he's a master network, okay, great, but I'm like you, and I don't want you to think that this is just, that only he could do this, right? So anyway, so real briefly, what happened over time is I sort of started to see that there was sort of commonalities in my networking skills and things that I kind of did, and they sort of developed, right? So I started to develop this what I call the 3-legged stool of networking. And really it's 3 things. It's traditional networking. How many here have been to like the B&Is of the world or chamber events or something like this, right? We all have, right? And I started to see that a lot of people, including myself initially, I wasn't leveraging it properly. So I talk a lot about that as the one leg of the stool. The other one is social media networking. LinkedIn is a big one for me. Christine's going to talk a lot about that, I'm sure. And really how to leverage that properly. And the third is unconventional. And this is going to kind of probably freak you guys out a little bit. Don't get freaked out. But the world is my networking event, right? I meet people all the time, everywhere, anytime. Tyler in the back there, him and I met at the gym. Just start up conversations on purpose. As Chris said, my goal is to meet 3 strangers every single day. Yesterday, I felt shy with just 2. But I don't think you feel bad for me. But that's, it's awesome. And I love doing it because I get a chance to meet cool people and see how it can be of value to people. So let me talk a little bit about traditional networking, right? Making the most of networking events. A lot of people don't really, they go to these events and they don't do a lot with it. So first thing is, know who your client is, know who you're trying to, just don't go to any network event. Go to ones where you feel the right quality of people, and that's going to start by knowing who your client is, right? And where they might be. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to get through this. I want to make sure I kind of cover all my points. So, identify your COI is sphere of influence or contact of influence, who the potential categories are. We all have people that we know, right, around us. that could have a lot of connections that may be valuable for you. So identify those. Go to as many quality events as you can, right? I think this is a quality event, but go to more. Again, get out there. If you stay in your house, it's not going to benefit anyone, right? That's my feeling. Consider taking a networking buddy. How many people have been to networking events again, please? How many people feel a little shy when you're at those events? I know I still do. I still fight that. So take somebody with you, and maybe set a goal together. Hey, maybe a little contest. How many connections, how many business cards? Let's have a competition. But it's cool also because, if I go with Rob, I could say, if I meet somebody, there's a really cool branding guy I want you to meet. Yeah, I could talk about Rob. It's easier for me to talk about somebody else than talk about myself, right? So go with a buddy. It's pretty awesome. I know Tyler invited me to one recently. It was cool kind of doing that, and you don't feel alone. Even though you're in a room of 30, 50, 100 people, you still sometimes could feel alone, but if you're there with a buddy, it makes it a lot more fun. And have fun. This is key, and I'd say 99% of the world don't do it. When you meet somebody, don't just assume, hey, okay, he or she has my business card. Send them an email, or whatever to everybody you meet, right? Don't just leave it at that. I think there's potential for anybody, and I'll talk about that in a later slide. Suggest a follow-up phone call or a coffee, or nowadays I'm doing more of a Zoom, video chat, right? Just because you never know. You never know where this is going to go, right? Connect on LinkedIn. It's pretty basic, but do it. Everybody I connect with, for the most part, I go to connect with them, or I suggest they connect with me on LinkedIn, always, right? And I'll talk more about that as well. This is key. Follow the rabbit hole. What do I mean by that? Well, you never know where it's going to go. You never know who they know, right? If the average person knows 300 people, and I think it's more these days, if you're a millennial, you probably know 1,000 people minimum, right, through social media and everybody. You don't know. I belong to a B&I group, right? And my best resource, believe it or not, was a guy named Freddie Caparelli. Some of the people in the room know this guy. He dropped the F-bomb every 3 seconds, right? Blue-collar guy. He owned a construction company. He was not a client of mine, but he happened to be a builder in Greenwich, Connecticut, was friends with a lot of very high-profile CEOs and CFOs, multi-millionaires, billionaires in Greenwich, was the best referral source I've ever had. So you never know who they know. Don't just say, oh, he or she, blah, because you don't know. Follow the rabbit hole. Follow up, right? Somebody I was talking to earlier today said, I kind of give up. Well, I wouldn't, he didn't say give up, but he said, I kind of, at some point, realized I have to just cut my losses. You never know, right? A follow-up could just be a quick text or an email, hey, how's it going, right? Once every 6 months. You just don't know. Keep it going. You never know where things are going to go. All right, let's talk. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with anybody? I hope it is, because again, I want this to be us, having a conversation. All right, Mike? All right, cool. Next one, social media, and again, Christine's going to do a great job on this subject. But let's talk about social media. That's the second leg of the stool. How to really leverage this, and that's really the key here. You want to create a brand, and I know Rob talked a little bit about this, more of a focus on companies, but we are a brand. I was talking to somebody today. Back in the day, if you wanted to make a personal brand about you, you'd have to, buy a billboard or something. There was no way to do it, right? Buy a spot on TV for $500,000 or $1 million, right? But today we have social media. You are a brand, and you need to make sure that you have that brand that represents who and what you are. So it's very important. Create the brand, and you want to make sure that's very transparent, very much authentic to who and what you are about. Very important. Millennials especially will sniff through that in a heartbeat. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Let it represent you. You want to make sure you have a well thought out profile. I'm a big LinkedIn believer. I believe in LinkedIn. If you're welcome to connect with me, I hope you do connect with me on LinkedIn. Look at my profile. I'm not saying it's the best out there, but I spent a lot of time and resources making sure it represents who and what I'm about. I think it's a phenomenal tool to really represent who and what you are about. People are going to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And LinkedIn is a great tool for that, right? You can post a video. I'm probably getting ahead of myself, right? Have a video profile on your profile, right? I have that. It's like a little intro about me, right? You also can continue to add relevant content and connections, right? This is about connections. Every day, just about, I'm on, there's a section in LinkedIn that says you may know. So I'm constantly in there, connect. So what? They say if they don't connect, whatever. Here's a big misnomer, and I might have a slide on that in a little bit. The biggest misnomer that I hear a lot is basically, oh, well, I don't want to connect with someone unless I really know them. Well, let me ask you this. What does LeBron James get paid the most for? Who says basketball? It's because he has over 1 million followers, right? How would you like to have more followers that agree to? If you connected with them and they said yes, that means they agreed to connect with you, and they want to know you. Why wouldn't you want to have followers that want to know you, that you have a presence for, you have the ability to communicate with them? I think it's phenomenal. I may have it here or not, but it's basically a free CRM in a lot of ways. Granted, I was talking to somebody earlier today. It doesn't have all the tools that CRM tools can have, but it's a lot of good things about it. So add connections. I'm not gonna. If somebody from Zimbabwe, sorry if you're from there, no offense. If somebody from Zimbabwe is gonna reach out to me and wants to connect, I'm not typically gonna accept that connection. It's got to be relevant to me, and I recommend that as well. Right? I talked about this. Right? Your net worth is in proportion with your net worth. Right? It's cliche, but it's true. Right? So make that network big. When I first started getting on LinkedIn and I worked at a different company, I had like about 200 connections. As you heard from Chris, I'm up to well over 9,300. Just constantly building my connections, and I highly recommend you do the same. Post frequently, right? So who here has ever seen my Fired Up Friday videos recently? Anybody? Okay, I welcome you. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and this is actually a conversation I had with Rob. I got to give him credit, right? He said, post, put up some content. Videos are great. Started doing it. Loved doing it. It's very good. Be relevant, right? Not salesy. Relevant. Post frequent. Be active. Comment. Reach out, right? I think LinkedIn has great tools like happy anniversary, new anniversary, or a job change, or whatever. What was it? Birthdays. I don't like the birthdays. I think it's, especially for somebody of the opposite sex, I think it's a little weird. I'm saying a happy birthday to somebody. Just maybe call me a little conservative. But yes, birthdays is true. I've turned up that notification. But like job change, promotion, things of that nature, right? Work anniversaries. It's pretty cool. And when people respond, I respond back. I just hit the button. I don't do anything crazy. Happy anniversary. They respond, I send a message, custom message to them. Hey, we should either catch up on a phone call. Why not? Leverage it. Be active, right? Talked about that. This is something I started doing, and it's a really cool thing. It's called the LinkedIn Exchange. And I didn't name it, but somebody, basically you have both of our LinkedIn profiles, the person I'm networking with and me, open, and we figure out who we want to connect with, and we make introductions. It would be it's a three-way conversation. The person you're sending it to the person that you want to introduce them to, as well as the person you're doing it for. A three-way introduction, and that person can hit reply all on LinkedIn even if they're not connected, and that person is now communicating with that person. It's a great tool, the LinkedIn Exchange. And again, if you want to know more about that, I'd be happy to do that with you. All right, so good. Social media, LinkedIn. As you can tell, I'm a big advocate. I think it's a great tool. I've actually gotten some actually business from LinkedIn. I'll give you a quick story. I didn't have it on here, but I was at one point I was sending out messages on LinkedIn. Hey, we should grab coffee, and I got an appointment. It's now called Bankwell, but it's Bank of New Canaan back in the day, and I got an appointment with the CEO, CFO, and COO from just a coffee quick LinkedIn message. People are often reading their LinkedIn messages on the couch, at home, their arm, their guard is down. It's a really good tool. All right, unconventional. This is the part that's going to blow your mind a little bit. But as I said before, the world is your networking event. You can meet people everywhere. You just got to be open, and you got to not really care, right? I know who was taught, don't talk to strangers, right? They're gonna kidnap you or whatever, right? Like, come on, we're not 6 years old anymore, okay? That's funny. I've been to the South many times. You meet someone in the South, and right afterwards they say, "Oh, hey, you should come over tonight for dinner." Like, it doesn't happen in New York, but in the South and other places around the country, it does. We're a little bit closed-minded here. We're busy. We're so busy trying to grind. But I think when you talk to people, I am amazed. Like I'm at the gym, right? Like when I looked at Tyler, he looked this guy, let me see the guy in the back who's got all the muscle popping out. He looks a little intimidating. But the minute I said something to him, his face lit up, and he was like, it was easy to talk to him. People are just like that. I'll wait for the slide. So break the ice. How do you break the ice? And by the way, this applies to networking events too. After you say something, I don't care, whatever it is. Hey, cool logo, what's that? Nice glasses, cool watch, cool shoes. I don't care. Ladies, you can talk. Okay, you can talk about, you guys love talking about purses and shoes, but whatever it is, break the ice, right? You see a logo from a team. Hey, did you go there? Whatever, just break the ice. Whatever it is. You don't need the perfect icebreaker. I've said the coolest things, and I get a blank stare. And I've said the stupidest things, and I got really good reaction. It's not about what you say; it's break the ice. And then I like to start with where you're from, or what do you do. Pretty straightforward. In the gym it's easy, right? Are you from here? I guess you live around here. No, I work around here. What do you do? Just it's a great way to start a conversation, right? And those are two really important topics, by the way, that can get into a lot of detail. You're not interrogating the person, but people, who knows here? Who's ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie? Who knows what the person's favorite topic in the whole wide world is? Themselves. Who knows what their favorite word in the whole wide world is? Their name. Exactly. So do a lot of that. Talk about them. Don't talk about you. Don't pitch them. Talk about them. Find out about them. Believe me, they'll want to know about you eventually. Where are you from? What do you do? Open posture. Be warm. Be friendly. Have a smile, but not a goofy smile, right? A little. I like to smile with my eyes. I learned that a while ago. You smile with your eyes, not with the mouth. You don't have some goofy smile. You gotta smile with your eyes, right? You can do it, right? Amy in the back is great at that. He's just warm, and it's his eyes. It's not his smile per se, right? Don't be afraid to make a fool of yourself. Just don't worry, man. Don't listen. Trust me. Well, what would they think? What would they think later? Trust me, people don't think about anything about you. They got their own problems. They're not thinking about this person that said something and whatever. Don't worry about it. Trust me. Christine said she loved this phrase, but it's true. I believe half of the world is waiting for the other half to say hello. And you will be amazed when you talk to people how true that is. It really is true, even around here. I was going to say this earlier. So talking to people is like petting a dog. How many here, when you try to go talk a Doberman Pinscher, you get that right? Or how about a Chihuahua, right? Or what about a Golden Retriever, right? They're like licking you. They're like, people are like that. The problem is you don't know the breed, right? So you just got to talk. And listen, if you get a Doberman Pinscher, you just walk away, right? They have 3 reactions. The dog has 3 reactions, and so do people. I'm not calling people dogs. Don't miss it. But we have 3 reactions. Either A, they want to lick you and they want to be petted and they're really excited, or they kind of growl and they don't want to be bothered, or they just don't care and they walk away, kind of like a cat. Cat doesn't want to be bothered, right? I hope I'm getting letters later from the animal lovers. I love animals, but that's the reaction. So don't worry about it. It's not you. It's not me. It's them, right? Just talk. Just say something. After I meet people, I always do this. I'll send a text message, an email, or I'll connect with them on LinkedIn. It's so important. So important. Don't just let that one contact be it, right? connect again. I think it's good courtesy. It's good protocol. All right, we've done right. Be open. That's the biggest thing I want you to be thinking about, right? It's just be open. Be open. I think a lot of us are professionals, business owners. You just want to be open for business, open to talk. And I'm telling you, again, you want to follow up, you go for coffee, follow up with them, really stay in touch. And that's the message I wanted to share with you, right? Again, if this shy, introverted kid from the Bronx, my nickname growing up was Spaz, all right? That was me. If I could do this, any of you can do it. I'm telling you. I'm no special. I'm just a man of God, and on this earth like everyone else here. Anybody can do this. So hope this made some sense. I hope I inspired you guys. And I'd love to grab a coffee with every one of you, or at least a phone call, and get to know each and every one of you. So appreciate that. Turn it back over.